This is a how-to episode on above the guideline income scenarios in the context of determining child support for Colorado divorce. Now, you've heard me state in other how-to episodes that child support is primarily based on the income of the parties as well as the amount of parenting time shared by the parents. So if we take our hypothetical divorce clients, Eric and Melanie Wolf, the amount that Eric makes compared to Melanie is put into a formula, and that is run through what is called the child support worksheet. Now, that child support worksheet under 1410-115 goes up to $30,000 per month in combined income. If Eric and Melanie make $300,000 between them, then they are on the worksheet. But $30,000 per month is $360,000 per year. And what happens if Eric makes $1 million a year and Melanie makes zero? What is the amount of child support, and how do we use the child support worksheet in that scenario? That was the issue presented in the case of Marriage of Boettcher. It was a Colorado Supreme Court case in 2019, and the issue before the court was the $30,000 a month. There's a particular amount that is stated for child support. Is that the amount that is presumed to be the case, or is that just the floor for the amount, the monthly amount? And can it be higher? The Boettcher court determined that the latter was the case. In the scenario of above the guideline amount, the floor is the amount determined at $30,000 per month. It can be more than that, according to Boettcher. How does the court analyze child support in above the guideline scenarios for determining child support? The purpose of child support is to ensure that the children's needs are met. And Colorado, like other states, has established a presumptive support amount based on income, number of children, and parenting time. So in the scenario where there is high income, and it really is going to primarily matter on the disparity between the incomes between Eric and Melanie. And so there's a significant difference if Eric is the primary breadwinner and he makes, like I said, $1 million and Melanie doesn't, versus both Eric and Melanie are doctors. They both make $500,000. They're above the guidelines, certainly, but they are able to provide for the children's needs. And really, the court is not going to be as concerned about Eric or Melanie having an advantage based on that disparity of income. And so the court's certainly going to take into consideration the costs of the children. So there could be extraordinary expenses. And I recorded another how-to episode talking about private school or ski racing or other extracurricular activities and who pays what. That's going to certainly be a factor. But really, the key component in determining above the guideline scenarios is going to be that disparity. So if Eric makes $1 million, the court is going to be concerned that Eric can provide for the children and they might be more inclined to spend time with him because he can take them on lavish vacations. He can buy them gifts. He has a nicer house because of his higher income. And really, that the court's going to try to figure out what is the amount that is necessary for Melanie to maintain a similar lifestyle specifically for the children. So that amount could be $5,000, it could be $10,000. Indeed, I have had cases in which child support was $20,000 a month. And is it directly tied? Are we getting into the child support commission on how much a child costs? In essence, yes. It's just on a much higher level. That house is going to be significantly higher. The travel is going to be business or first class. And Eric is going to most likely dispute whether or not he should be paying Melanie to sit in first class with the children on their European vacations. But really, the court is going to be looking at, is there an advantage and what can be done and who's going to pay what? So if Eric is paying directly for that private school if he is paying for the equestrian lessons and activities for their child, Eve, that's going to factor in to the amount of child support that he pays to Melanie. So these cases can be hotly contested, but the key component or the key takeaway from this case is that $30,000 a month, anything above that, there's going to be a presumptive floor for child support, but it can be significantly higher, and it's going to be based on the lifestyle of the children and the disparity. Hopefully that explains the general concepts, but these cases can be very fact specific, and some of the numbers can really matter. If in those circumstances, really parties should consult with an attorney, but hopefully listeners gain a general understanding of these concepts that is based primarily on that Marriage of Boettcher case that I referenced at the outset.